Hey, all right. We're gonna get some. We're gonna do some game design tonight. We're working on the spelljamming ship that the characters control in the Eberron Spelljammer campaign that I'm running on my Discord server Saturday mornings. And we're using it as a mobile bastion, utilizing the bastion mechanics that I have created here on stream over the past year and a half. So we're gonna make use of some of that stuff. It looks like I think my music's calmed down a little bit. Checking here to see how things are weighing out. That looks good. Let's drop the. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online, and we're creating content for Dungeons and Dragons 5.5. I am a huge Eberron enthusiast. I'm a huge Spelljammer enthusiast. I'm a huge mecha and kaiju combat enthusiast. So I made a Mecha Kaiju Bastion campaign in the Eberron campaign setting that is orbiting the planet that's in orbit around the world of Eberron. We're using Roll20 here. I'm just firing up the screen for you guys to take a look at our world here. Again, for those that aren't indoctrinated, this is Eberron. It occupies a 10,000 mile space. Each square is 10,000 miles. There's 12 moons in orbit around Eberron. The farthest is 220,000 miles away. The ships in the Spelljammer campaign have a maximum. They're basically like they're basically like souped up airships. Not even really. They go. They can do 500 miles per hour or roughly 10,000 miles per day. So each square, a spelljamming ship can move from one square to the next each day using a major helm. A minor helm is only capable of 1,000 miles per day. So if we take a 10,000 mile space, I don't know what just happened there. Got it. What the fuck did I just press? No? Double no? Thank you. Okay, this is a 10,000 mile space that the campaign is occupying currently. Here it is broken down into a 20 by 20 square, which each square on this grid is 500 miles. So a minor helm can move 2 squares per day, while the major spelljamming carrier ship can move 10,000 miles per day. So the carrier can cross the entire system in one day, no problem. The mecha and minor spelljamming helm fighter crafts and like civilian craft that could be up to 50 feet in size. I mean, nothing to sneeze at, but they're not huge. So they can do 2 squares a day. There you go. Each one of these black blots is a different asteroid community that's within this asteroid cluster. Our team is currently located here in community number 6, which is Scabbers Cove. It is we're going to spend the next a few weeks of adventure in this community while they're investigating some fishermen that got killed, and they found some strange mutilation of scabbers, and there was some recent meteorite falls in the region, and so they think this is all culminating into some sort of a spoiler alert kaiju attack that's starting to crop up. Like there's a kaiju that is stalking the community and eating things. So they need to hunt it down and kill it using their mecha. But their mecha don't move fast, so they need a faster ship that's able to transport the mecha from crisis to crisis, kind of like the XCOM 2 video computer game. This is very much like that in flavor. Your carrier brings the mecha to the location, we deploy the mecha, and then the mecha fight the kaiju. When the kaiju is defeated, we harvest it for materials that then get converted into bastion points that the team can spend on resources, or rather can use those points to improve upon the different facilities in the community, or they can use those bastion points to issue orders to individual facilities within these communities to perform tasks for them, like make me some equipment, or like a new ship or armor or weapons, turn something I have or into a magic item, like research a spell for me, create some poison for me. Like there's all sorts of things that you can get these bastions to do for you, and they all require ability checks to pass or fail. If they fail the ability check, and depending on the community, like here for example, in the Sleepy Fish, which is a pub in the capital hamlet of Scaver's Cove. Sleepy Fish is the favorite pub for the fishermen to go to at the end of a week. And it's first rank, which means it has up to 10 bastion points. In this case, first rank bastion. Do I not have it listed here? No. Third rank bastion. Oh, because they don't need to know specifically what. This is the player-facing content. Sorry. But going further into the actual communities themselves, we break down the point values of everything. Let me go find the point values of everything really quick, just to be fully relevant to our conversation here today. There we go. I'm okay with this. Here we go. Let's scroll down. Here's the DM breakdown of how all the mechanics in the communities work. And then I summarize it to be player facing. So we're going to go through this process and we're going to build out a mobile bastion out of the spelljamming ship that the characters control to pilot mecha around from different communities. But just to finish this conversation here, we'll eventually flesh out all of these properly. But Scaver's Cove, if we go down to the Sleepy Fish, it has one facility. It has 2 bastion points. It's first rank, so it can have, once you get to 11 points, your second rank, 21 points is third rank, 31 points is fourth rank, 41 plus points is fifth rank. You use those points to purchase facilities. That's their primary purpose. That when each rank there's 5 ranks, 1 to 5, that correspond to proficiency bonuses that we gain at character level 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. That translates into first, second, third, fourth, fifth rank. The Bastion facilities roll proficiency dice, so you roll a d20 to succeed at a task that's been issued to carry out. Sorry, to use the DMG language, to carry out an order that the characters have issued to a facility in their bastion. You have to determine if it's successful, if it fails or succeeds the check to make a game out of it. So the first rank rolls all bastions when they're carrying out orders, they roll a d20 plus the rank of the bastion. So the Sleepy Fish is a first rank bastion, so it's d20 plus 1, and then depending on the rank of the facility that is carrying out the order, you'll roll a proficiency die, which is at first, second, third, fourth, fifth rank, corresponding to level 1, 5, 9, 13, 17, is a d4, d6, d8, d10, d12, which is the variable of a plus 2 proficiency bonus, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, and then finally plus 6 at 17th level. You would instead roll a d12 as a proficiency die. It's like a 5th rank bastion with a 3rd rank facility carrying out an order that's been issued would roll a d20 plus 5 because of the rank of the bastion, plus a d8 because the facility is only 3rd rank. If it was a 5th rank facility, then it would be a d12. And of course, a rank of a facility cannot exceed the rank of the bastion that's housing it. So to get higher rank bastion, you accumulate more bastion points. To accumulate rank in facilities, you spend those bastion points to upgrade facilities. So a first rank bastion can have up to 10 points before becoming second rank. So it could have 10 separate facilities that are all first rank, rolling d20 plus 1 plus d4 to see if you succeed at the task. Tasks are ranked 1 to 5, DC 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So making a common magic item like a sword plus 1, no features, that's a DC 10 to make that magic item. But to make Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, that's a legendary magic item. Technically, that's an artifact. You can't create that. But if we were to say, because like artifacts are god content, but out of the scale of the 20 level frame of humanity. But if we imagine Mjolnir being a legendary magic item, it would be a DC 30 crafting check to be able to create that. And like I was saying, there's success and failure here. So if you succeed, the task does, the facilities execute the task the way that you would want them to, and at the end of the bastion turn, they've made progress. They've either completed the task or made progress towards completing it. If they fail the die roll, a complication arises, which is an adventure seed. The task hasn't failed, you lose, sir. Instead, it's we ran into a complication, and until we get it resolved, we can't complete the task. So they always succeed at the task. It's just a matter of, do they succeed without any complications, or does it create an adventure seed that the characters then carry out that side quest to resolve the complication so that the facilities can finish crafting the shop like was intended. We have a random table on the Bastion facilities chart here. You can go down, we can see how we structure creating complications. So during our camp, the Eberron Spelljammer Mecha Kaiju Bastion campaign that we're running, the characters don't gain treasure, they get Bastion points that they then spend at facilities to create stuff for them that then becomes their treasure. So they can customize what they want, but they have to have the resource, like they have to have the Bastion points from the Kaiju harvested to be able to gain those temporary Bastion points that they can then spend to build things with. And they have to spend those at places that are capable of building them. And then while they're building them, they have to pass the ability check to build them without difficulty or without complication. And if a complication arises, that becomes a side quest mission that the characters will go on in the next few sessions or whatever to complete the task that's preventing the thing from being completed. And once they do, the thing gets completed, and then they get the thing that they wanted. So we run in Bastion turns, and every Bastion turn they can issue orders based on how many Bastion points they have. Each character has one Bastion point that they can spend each Bastion turn. If they want to build something that requires more than one Bastion turn to complete, they've basically tapped that Bastion point, kind of like tapping mana in Magic the Gathering. They've tapped and used that Bastion point, and if they leave it tapped, that task remains in progress. If they reclaim that point, they stop any progress on that task because they've defunded the effort. You have to keep it funded through completion, and with this system, Bastion points is the currency to complete tasks. So they all get their own Bastion, they all get one Bastion point initially, and then from there, when they defeat and harvest material from Kaiju, they basically just convert that into new resources that the town absorbs, and then to reciprocate the town, you then convert those resources into Bastion points that you then spend to issue orders, like I was talking about. So what we're going to do is, like for example, the Sleepy Fish, it only has 2 Bastion points, its first rank, and what it can do though, what the Sleepy Fish is capable of doing is, where'd you go? Hold on, let's flip back over to here. What was it? Here we go. Sleepy Fish, 2 Bastion points. It has only one facility, which is a pub. So if we go to the Bastion campaign document that we've been building here, and you can find this on my Discord, a link to this on my Discord server, which is linked down below. Free access to join the Discord. Be welcome. Bastion ranks. There we go. And like Bastion rank. Here we go. The Bastion rank is equivalent to these character levels, and then the number of Bastion points you have to qualify to be that rank, the number of orders that can be issued to the Bastion based on its rank. We were talking already about the Bastion die that we use to help determine if we succeed or fail a task. And here's a couple examples, like a village shoe shop, a frontier outpost. Those would be good examples, as is the Sleepy Fish pub. So if we scroll down in our document here to different facilities, and we have like 40 facilities in here, all the facilities from the Dungeon Master's Guide, plus a bunch extra that fleshes out, because these all have mechanical things that impact your character's adventures. So if we go down to the pub, we can see what the special things you can do with the pub facility. So each facility in the system has 3 perks. Some perks are facility benefits that just benefit how the Bastion operates as a whole for having this facility in it. There are specific orders that you can issue to the pub. You can issue 1 order per Bastion turn to any single facility, regardless of its rank. So you could either craft a bunch of food items like food, beer, ale, sandwiches, rations. monster bait. Who knows? You can craft basic food type items. We have actually at the back of the book here, we have every item in the player's handbook broken down by which facilities can create them, their value, and what the effective rarity of the item is, thus its gold value, and the difficulty to create it. You can only create items of a rank equal to the level of complexity that you can produce. So a first rank facility can create first rank or common items like sandwiches and shit. Like fish bait, that's common. Like that costs less than 100 gold. That's a common magic item level. A basic, just a first rank fish shop or a first rank pub could make fish bait, chum, out of just leftover food that they can eat in the sink. It's pretty easy. Everything in the player's handbook has been broken down. There's 3 types of material. There's animal, mineral, and vegetable materials. Like vegetable material can be used to make food, but it can also do things like make leather. Not leather. Yarn or clothing. It can be made to vegetable materials can be used to create lumber for building things, but you could also use mineral for stone to build things. You could use bone and chitin from giant kaiju creatures to make structures and buildings and swords and armor and stuff out of. So the material, there's a default material that these type of, each of these items, like for example, a pike, which is basically a spear, is generally made out of plant and mineral materials, like a wooden shaft for the plant material, and the spearhead tip for the mineral material. But you could easily make a pike out of animal material. Like if you're fighting kaiju, you could just take a long tooth and carve it down into a spear. That would technically be animal material that you made that pike out of. This is just the generic fantasy setting, Europe fantasy setting. These are generally materials that you're going to see things being made out of. But again, the DM can always change what the material is. If the player's like, "Hey, I want to make a sword out of this." Great, you can make a sword out of that. It's a plant. It's an animal material. Well, we could do that at the armory. We could do that at the smithy. But it's animal material, so maybe we could do that if there's a menagerie, or stables, or even a laboratory. We could potentially take that animal material and turn it into a hand axe for you if that's what you want. We can make that up because we have enough rules here to improvise rulings. Good rulings need good rules. So most of the work that I do is creating systems of rules that allow you to have a solid base that shows you how to do other things with the system. So that's what we're doing here. Hey, Harvey, what's going on, my man? You got a question? Ask it, and I'll answer it whenever I get to it. So you're always welcome to ask. So this is just explaining, for example, the pub that we're looking at. We're looking at what can you do in that facility. Well, we see here that I'll go back up the pub. Now that you understand how crafting stuff works, right? We can make sense out of what the pub facility is capable of doing. So we go up to the pub. I'll finish explaining the pub and then I'll answer your question. Facility benefits, right? So orders, crafting. You can use the craft order to create non-magical items on that list down below of up to a value equal to the rank of the facility. So a first rank facility is common magic items, 100 gold pieces. There you go. They can do that in a week. They can also be issued the research order. You can issue a research order unique to this facility to observe conversations and overhear rumors about recent events, local items, locations, or NPCs as detailed in the issuing unique orders section below. So we'll drop down to the unique section, the unique orders section below, downtime activities, facility benefits, and issuing orders. So if we're going to use the recruit order, it requires any bastion can recruit. Research. Research requires specific facilities. So let's go down to where it talks about research. There we go. You can research item creation plans, like equipment or magic items that you want. Plans for mundane items has a gold piece value, 100, 400, 4,000, 40,000, 200,000, which corresponds to the gold piece value of magic items that are common, uncommon, rare, very rare, and legendary. Yes. First 1 to 5 ranks. Magic items. To create a magic item, you have to have plans to do so. All facilities start off knowing any item of uncommon or greater value requires separate research orders to have correct plans before crafting these items. Any facility that can create mundane items has the plans for an item of common value, which is up to 100 gold pieces, without requiring research. Anything beyond that requires research. So you have to research the plans, and then you execute the plans. You can acquire the plans from somebody, or you can import somebody that knows the plans to do that, and then you can just get to work right away. Or you can research the plans, kind of like researching a spell, or like in the DMG 5.5, you can research magic items and then build those magic items with a crafting check. And then finally, we have gathering information. So facilities have the research order listed as one of their properties can be issued the research order to gather specific types of facilities that have the research order listed as one of their properties can be issued the research order to gather specific types of information such as current or historical creatures, events, locations, and objects. Each facility lists what type of information can be gathered. There are 2 methods of gathering information: general information and specific information. Researching general information. When you issue the research order to gather general information about a topic, make a bastion check. The result of the check determines the number of questions the players can ask the DM about the topic to research, and the DM will answer truthfully. So in our Mecha Kaiju Bastion campaign, the result that the player got on his check was it was a 22. So he got a 22, so he gets to ask 3 questions. If he had rolled below 10, he wouldn't have gotten any answers that he wanted, and he would have created a complication, meaning like whoever it is that he's asking questions about realizes that somebody's investigating them and then starts taking countermeasures to stop it. Or if it's like an item you're asking about, the person that possesses that item finds out somebody's asking about it and takes countermeasures against you. And the hostility is basically determined by friendly, indifferent, and hostile dispositions of the person that's retaliating. But otherwise, like a result of DC of 22, you can ask any 3 questions, and as a DM, I'll tell you that that's not a relevant question that they'd be able to answer, so ask something different. But if you ask me something, I will give you a true answer based on the information that everybody has. So I won't lie to you about what information is available. No one's tricking you when you do this research, but the information that you get may not be complete. And so if you get 3 questions, you ask about stuff, you can then come back again next Bastion turn, issue that order again, and continue to gather information just to collect information about what's going on. You basically get this basically like this virtual, like this floating currency of questions you can have answered at any time, because the way that the Bastion turn is like time's a little slippery. We have 7 days to do our adventure before the next Bastion turn starts. How are you spending your time? Somewhere along that line, you're hanging out at that pub and you're getting the information that you need when you need it for the next thing that we're going to do in our adventure over the next 7 days. So you sequence those things together and you leave time a little slippery, so you have narrative space to squeeze these things in as flashbacks or as just coincidental timing of, I know that you're investigating this guy, you got a natural 20 on this thing, so it turns out like the next day when you're in the market, you literally just bump into him with his hands full and he's completely flat-footed. What did you want to do with him? And like that's the kind of situations that you can set up where you let time be loose so you have that narrative space to do what you need with it. So if that's something that the team can do with, like, say, the pub, they can get food and drink, minor items that are mundane like that, and they can gossip. So each facility does different things. We already have a number of facilities built into the carrier ship that we've been designing. So we're going to go over each of those facilities here in a minute and look at, like, on board their own ship, what can they actually do without requiring an outside influence, like going to one of these communities to ask for favors. So we'll go through all these in a minute, but you have a question, so I want to answer it. The rumor mongering moment was still super cool. Yeah, no kidding. You activated the trap card moment. That was awesome. Oh, did I answer the question for you? Right on. But yeah, that was a fun fucking session. For those that don't know, Harvey Magic Man here, Magic Man, he's one of our playtesters. So he's active in the campaign right now. Was that your question? I don't recall offhand who asked that question. I have the notes, I'm just not looking at them right now. It was, yeah, that may have been yours. Anyway, there you go. So what we're gonna do with the carrier ship, and this is like, I don't think this is actually what the carrier ship should look like. I've actually been debating this a lot, and I don't want to give you guys a lame ship, but I want it to feel dwarfy. So I've got a little bit of a challenge there. I had originally just a giant floating head. Where'd my floating head go? Hold on. This is sticking in my craw. Fortress, there we go. This is what it originally looked like, and I didn't like that one. So instead, I came up with this weirder shaped one. It's like more like an angler fish than anything else, but it's still 500 feet in length. So it has, even though it's thinner than 500 feet, it doesn't take up the whole space. It still occupies the 500 foot space, so gains all of the stats of it. But I don't necessarily like this one either. I actually kind of like, I'm kind of jiving on this vertical tower sort of idea. Like something like vertical instead of horizontal in nature. Each of these squares is 50 feet. Like this here, that's 50. This is 50 feet. It's like this vertical aligned structure. That just feels kind of dwarfy. But beyond that, like our central gravity plane will be here. Like that. Like this has more of a citadel feeling to it, you know? So we're going to give you a 50 foot center point. That's a pass through. It's 0 gravity. Like this is actually offset. So this is, hold on. Let me do this right. I was talking about this last time, but I'll just reiterate here. And I'm not going to spin a hard, I'm not going to hard dive on this. But there we go. This is our central gravity plane here. If we have the loading dock at our center of mass, anything that floats along here is 0 gravity, because they're bobbing on the central gravity plane. So we can like pull up to a dock like this, like a stockyard, right? Like a docking stockyard. Here's your storehouse. And they can wheel stuff from the storehouse off the ramp. Sorry, I misstepped that ramp. This would actually be like here. So they could just literally just wheel things off of here and just let it roll off, and it'll just bob. And then we can have cranes on either side of it to pull the material out and then put it up here in storage. So this would be the top half. This would be the under half. I think we'd probably have, I think this is where the helm would be, and like the mecha and the barracks, and then the underside here would be civilian storage, because we act as both the police cruiser, the posse for police, and the merchant caravan that we have to protect. So the carrier has enough space in it to be able to haul materials back and forth between asteroid communities during the course of a Bastion turn. And we don't really keep hard track of where is the ship at any particular time, because the ship can move 500 squares per hour. So anytime an event occurs, we'll roll a D6, and that D6 will determine which community has the event and which community is the carrier currently in. And so if the event happens at Scabbers Cove and we're over here at Fell Rock, this is Fell Tower over here, that's 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, 4 squares, roughly 5 squares away. It takes 5 hours for the Popo to go from Fell Tower to Scabbers Cove. Whatever was happening at Scabbers Cove may already be over before we can actually get there. So there is a sense of risk that things could be damaged until we get sufficient defenses built in each community for them to be able to fend off attack on their own, or do a better job than they are currently. And once all these communities are self-sufficient and can protect themselves, the team can pan out and start looking at the larger system and playing in different neighborhoods. But right now we're stuck in our own neighborhood, but we're learning how the game works at the base level. So having a small area is going to help us as we expand in our power, capabilities, and awareness to move out to the larger galaxy. So for now, we're at Scabbers Cove. Here's where Scabbers Cove is at. Our carrier is basically parked over here. Each one of these squares is a mile on this map. Our carrier occupies a 500-foot space. So to compare on maps, in this example, this is a 500-foot square region, and each of these smaller squares is 50 feet. Similarly, on Scabbers Cove, each of these larger squares is 1 mile, and our carrier ship occupies one of these little squares in that 500-foot space. So this is this Spelljammer mechanics. It scales up and down for these different types of gameplay really easily. And for those that are interested, that book is published here on the DMsGuild. Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. It's about 90 sales away from gold medal status, and it's been out for about a year and a half. So that's some pretty good momentum for one of my books. But like everything that I do, first off, you're always going to want to disable Adobe Acrobat on Google Chrome. It makes your books look like shit. But beyond that, the entire document is 100% free preview. People buy my books to encourage me to make more books. Not to read them. I don't want to gatekeep information from you. It's hard enough just to get people to read your books in the first place than to have them gatekeep to actually get it. So read my books. If you think they're cool, buy them. God bless you. But we did a full conversion guide for Light of Xeraxis using these scaling combat mechanics to have different ship combat encounters with the different things that are already inside a Light of Xeraxis translated into the scaling combat system that we're using for our mecha. So maybe I'll have means of working some of these adventures, some of those encounters into our mecha, into our Spelljammer campaign, but probably not. But yeah, you can check this book out, and while you're there, anyone like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. Yeah, I just want to point out real quick, I'm at 600 and where'd it go? I'm at 665 subscribers right now. I want that magical 666 on our way to 1,000+ subscribers. If you're catching this channel and you think it's cool, thanks. And consider subscribing to help me hit my goals of conquering the universe. Cheers. Let's get back on task. So yeah, this is what I'm thinking about the ship would be shaped like to have this cool vertical alignment instead of horizontal. Get rid of all that, bring that back in, there we go. But this also leaves room for like building platforms and parapets and stuff like that off of it in the future. If they wanted to make like an actual castle out of it, you could do that. But it's got, currently it has 5 turret stations. One of them is going to be here at the top as a castle top deck. We're going to have a castle bottom deck down here. And we're going to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the other side 5, something like that. Oh no, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then like 5. And we built out these turrets last time. Each turret station has 1 trebuchet, 2 ballista, and 5 harpoon flingers. We should probably drop Eldritch Cannons in there, but Eldritch Cannons currently are allocated to individual mechas, not group, or not on the ship as a whole. And then going back to our original stuff here. This is a 50-foot space. Here's our trebuchet. Here's 2 ballistas, and then here's 5 harpoon flingers, and then here's a command post that allows a character, if aboard the carrier ship stationed at this turret station, like here's the doors that lead into the structure of the ship. So this would be the external facing side of this, but all these weapons can fire off into the distance. So I'm thinking about having those. Meow. Yeah. One here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like this one is at the side, this one is behind, and this one is in front towards the camera. Or that would look roughly like this. No, sorry. Like that, and then like that, and then like the other one would be back here on the other side. So it's like a tripod, right? And then the top here, we whittled that down a little bit, and we put some parapet stuff up here. We got one there. We carved that down to be like a fortress sort of thing. We got one there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not coincidentally, we have 5 players on the team. So if we have a full grip of players, they can all take command of a siege tower if they wanted to and attack with siege weapons instead of their mecha in some scenarios. But if you were to do a full volley, the trebuchet and 2 ballistas have a reload score of 7, but we're only rolling d6s at 5th level. So if we fail the reload score and we're guaranteed to fail it, it requires an extra action to reload the trebuchet, an extra action to reload the ballista, and an extra action to reload the other ballista. I have to reload all 3 of them independently with 3 separate actions before I can issue the command for all of them to fire again as a single attack action. Or I could use, like at 5th level as a fighter, or like as an artificer, I have 2 attacks, right? So I could do 1 attack with 1 ballista and has a reload score of 1, so I'll automatically succeed at reloading that ballista. It only does d4 times 10 damage, which isn't a lot when you know the rules of Spelljammer. But you could fire both of them together as an attack. It would do 2d4 times 10 damage as a single attack roll, but the reload score is 2. So now if I roll a 1 on my d6, I would have to spend a separate attack and then either a reaction or a bonus action. I have to use attacks, bonus actions, or reactions to reload weapons. And that slows down my character's combat action economy. So the more damage I do with siege weapons, the higher the reload score becomes, the more likely it is that I'm going to have to waste a whole bunch of people's time and actions next turn to reload all these weapons so we can fire again, because I was greedy and wanted to do a stupid amount of damage. D8, this is basically 2d8 times 10 damage I would deal as a single barrage if I fired all these weapons at once. Or if I was like, say, a 13th level fighter, I could have 2 ballistas and I could fire them both as a single attack on my 13th level fighter rolling a d10. I'm probably going to hit the number. Or as a 13th level fighter, I have 3 attacks. So I can attack once with 1 ballista, guaranteed reload success for d4. A second attack with the other ballista, guaranteed success, another d4 damage. And then I've got that third attack. Fuck it. I'll make the third attack as 2d4 times 10, and I have a reload score of 2. So that last attack I get during this turn, I'm probably going to succeed. But if I fail, I can use my bonus action and my reaction to reload those weapons so they're ready to go next turn. And I effectively just used all of my action economy to do 2d8 times 10 damage, because I attacked 4 times, dealing up to 2d8 damage. Or I could fire all the weapons at once, doing 2d8 damage. If I fail the reload score, I then have to use a second attack to reload the trebuchet, my bonus action to reload the ballista, and then another action to reload the other ballista. I'm now out of attacks. I've used my my reaction to reload. I now have a bonus action left over. I could attack with that again, and if I fail the 7 reload score and At 13th level, I'm only rolling a D10, so I'd have to roll an 8, 9. I'd have to roll a 7, 8, 9, or 10. Maybe I'll pass, maybe I won't. But if I don't, other people could use their, like the cleric could use its reaction to help reload a ballistic. You're not doing anything better. Why don't you go ahead and help me do that? Cool. I'll burn my reaction to help you reload that weapon. You can do that during your turn. I fire my ballista. I failed the reload score. Cleric, hey, reaction, reloaded. All right, you no longer have your reaction. I now have the weapon reloaded. I fire again. Fuck, I botched my reload score, but I still have an opportunity. I still have my bonus action available. Bard says, don't worry about it. I'm going to give you my reaction. Go ahead and reload the weapon. You can use your bonus action to fire again. Like, you can share your action economy like that so that everybody's contributing to everybody's success, even if you only have a small number of weapons. You can dogpile on that weapon and have everybody dump their action economy into firing that weapon many, many times. But it all ends up basically washing out. Whether you're going to do a whole bunch of attacks or you're going to do a whole bunch of attacks at once or one attack a whole bunch of times, it all basically breaks down to the same action economy of reloading and firing, aiming, firing, and reloading weapons. So the reason why it only takes a single attack to fire the ballista and only a reaction to reload the weapon is because there's 3 crew on that ballista that all have attacks, bonus actions, and reactions just like you do. So when you use your reaction to reload that ballista, you've got 3 people using their reaction to reload that weapon. So that takes care of the ready, aim, and fire of the ballista. It's already ready to go. When I botched my trebuchet, I've got 7 crew that are able to use their reaction to take an extra action to help load and rearm and fire the trebuchet again. So you're dogpiling action economy inside of dogpiling action economy from your characters. So everyone is chipping in to help make sure this weapon can fire multiple times per turn. And that's the narrative, the Ludo narrative of how the siege system works using normal D&D 5e combat at the 50, 500 foot, and 1 mile scale in combat. So that's the breakdown of how these turrets work. And these don't require orders or anything to be issued. They can't really be upgraded, but you can buy better. You can buy better weapons, and that's what the armory and the smithy are for. Upgrading siege weapons or creating new fighter craft, or creating spell jamming helms that you can load into new mecha. If you guys want to diversify or like build a small army to protect each individual city, each individual community, like with their own mecha guardians to fight, and then you train the city watch how to use the mecha so they can fight kaiju for you for when you're not there. And when you aren't there, you are going to make combat attacks using the Bastion system warfare mechanics that we developed, where the Bastion points become hit points, and you defeat your enemy by taking it by fatiguing their Bastion points down to 0, so they no longer have any facilities that are functioning or any people that are willing to fight you. You drain them down to 0 hit points, you take over that Bastion, it becomes your facilities, because you then plunder them with an action to take claim of them. So you can resist that by making Bastion checks against each other's target. Like, I'm going to attack you, I'm 2nd rank, I attack you, I'll do d6 Bastion points of damage. If I had a 2nd rank, that's going to be like, that'd be like 115, like anywhere from 101 to 1,000 troops. That would, like the Sleepy Fish, it only has 2 Bastion points. That would get slaughtered, because they're going to roll a d6. Chances are, in one go, they're just going to completely destroy that pub. And you could issue multiple orders to an army during a turn. So you could issue like a 2nd rank Bastion can have 2 orders that you can issue, and they can both be attack that pub. And if you do, you'll do 2d6 Bastion points of damage, and the pub only has 2 points. It's automatically destroyed, and then they could, and they've already used up both of their actions for their Bastion turn, basically sacking that pub. You would then be able to, when you cycle through your Bastion turn, you would then own that Bastion if you decided to basically spend the points to repair it. It basically becomes your own. So, and you can repair, like a 1st rank Bastion can repair D4 Bastion points per order issued, and 2nd rank can do 2d6, and of course you can issue multiple orders to speed up repair. It's like a 2nd rank Bastion with 2 orders could issue both of them to repair, instead of building stuff, or all of our facilities are destroyed anyway. We're not making anything until this place is fixed. So everyone focus on repair, and so all the orders go into rolling dice to see how many bastion points you can recover. And a second rank bastion will have anywhere from 11 to 20 points. So just having 2d6 might get you. It would take about, on average, it would take like 6d6 dice to get 20 points back, roughly. So that's 3 whole bastion turns to rebuild your facilities to get back up and running again, which sounds realistic to me. So this whole system actually works out really nicely. But having said all that, I'm going to stop here and this is what I'm thinking about for our facilities currently. But the shape of the ship doesn't really matter yet. We're not being attacked. At some point in the future, if we start fucking around with pirates, I'll need to give you guys a tactical map so you have a good idea of like what's on each floor of this. But for now, we can leave it vague until we get a group consensus about what we think a cool ship would look like, and I can build that out. But this is currently what I'm thinking about for our configuration. But having said that, let's actually go into the ship, look at the different facilities that are in the ship, and then go into the Bastion Campaign document and look at what each of these facilities give the characters, so y'all have a good idea about what it is that we can do on the ship. And then as we continue moving into other communities like Fell Tower, Redstone, Capital Rock, Farhope, these different communities, they also have all their own facilities. So like if you guys decide to do like a lot of like build a fleet, you're gonna need to have a lot of armories, smithies, and shipwrights available. So maybe you go and hit all the different communities that have those facilities, and just spend a whole bunch building ships for us so we can go fight pirates or something. Whatever. You guys will decide how you want to do that stuff, but these tools allow you to do it. And they gamify everything, so fighting kaiju makes sense. It generates bastion points that you then get to spend on making stuff that will allow you to do more of the. As we continue through. I'm going to check my sounds. Okay, cool. Sound fell off for a second there. So okay, cool. So back at the front. Here's our facilities. We have a second rank. So the carrier ship itself is second rank. It's a 500-foot spell jamming helm, and when I say 500 feet, it means like either its length, width, or height is 500 feet. So it fills a 500-foot space. Hey, what's up, Forge? It's good to see you, my dude. That was just repurposed into becoming a citadel. Liked off the chip. Right on. Cool. I'm glad you like that, like that spiked spire sort of look. Right? Yeah. It's pretty cool. And this is just like basically a profile view. Technically, sorry, I have it there twice. Like if this is the profile view and this is the front, like it would be something like this. So this would be the hangar bay. And you can see it's 50 feet in height because it's half of 150 and half of another. And the maximum size of a mecha is 50 feet in this campaign. So basically, we'd have a hangar bay here inside the structure. Each of these squares is 50 feet. It's like maybe we have like a hangar bay that's like 100 feet by 100 feet. So it's just huge. And basically, it just drops mecha down into the zero gravity point here. And then you just shoot out of it. Or we can have extenders, like little zip lines that we could then roll mecha out onto, and then they can deploy by basically Titan falling from the ship. I like that idea too. Because like if you guys are like on the ground and you need your mecha, then the carrier can come over, drop zip lines, and then just all the mecha just get deployed Titanfall style. And then you just climb up the mecha, you get in, and then you go like within a minute. So, but that's the general idea of how this works. It probably doesn't need to be 100 feet wide, but there it is. Anyway, this is the general idea, and then like we can shape aesthetics and stuff like that in the future if we wanted to. But this is kind of the general idea I had about like what your carrier might look like. It feels kind of dwarfy this way, and these are the turret stations here. This one's, you can't see that one because it's on the other side. But turret station here, turret station down. This would actually be like this, an upside down T, because it's on the reverse side, like that. Like that. So the 5 turret stations, the helm would be like somewhere around in here. Barracks would be here, and maybe some more barracks here. So like this is like the civilian region where like the storage goods and transportation of people. Above that, where the turret stuff is, that's military, and this whole top half is military. So like this little stripe zone, this 100 by 150 some odd, like 150 foot circumference circle, that's basically the civilian zone where all your shit gets hauled. But that's the idea. So we have in our dwarven facility, we have our major helm, which can do 10,000 miles per day, which is 1 orbital square, or 500 miles per hour, which is 1 region map square per hour. It's a 2nd rank bastion because, again, it corresponds with our character levels. 1st level, 5th level, 9th level, 13th level, 17th level. We're taking the campaign from 5th level through 9th level to 13th level. I plan on it concluding somewhere around level 13. I suspect we'll be able to tie it off with a bow at that point. But that's that if you can run a campaign, like if you're playtesting stuff and you can run it smooth from level 5 to 13, that's the sweet spot. Like that's where you really want to make sure that it works. I've been running other campaigns with this type of style of game at my home table for a few years now, and it's working really well there too. This is just more of like a victory lap, fun, sort of like for funsies to playtest all this stuff together. But the Bastion system I know is pretty solid. So we have 2nd rank, we'll have anywhere from 11 to 20 points. By the time we get to 21 points, we'll elevate to 3rd rank and then start building out material. And I anticipate us getting there somewhere around 9th level. So keep an eye out for that. But we have 15 Bastion points unto itself. Its native 2nd rank means that it defaults to rolling a d6 plus 2. And most of the facilities that are in the fortress are all in we'll call it the Citadel. How about that? 2nd rank, which would be appropriate because it's a 2nd rank bastion. It should have 2nd rank. The smithy's a little small, and here's why. The smithy deals more with mundane stuff. You don't really focus on building magic items and complicated machinery in a smithy. That's what a armory and a workshop is for. So we have the high technical shit already here. The smithy is 1st rank because it's going to do things like fix hinges, make arrow bolts, like arrow tips if we need to help out the armory if necessary. Fix some guy's chair. We need some more silverware cleaned up. Clean these buckles. Whatever. It's like a small scale operation. It's not important. So a small 1st rank smithy. If the team wants to elevate that, all you got to do is permanently spend a bastion points, and you can upgrade the smithy to 2nd rank. Every time the characters gain a level, I'm going to give them a bastion point to the facility as a whole that they as a team can decide how they want to spend it. Either, like the smithy, for example, could be advanced to 2nd rank. But you can't, until the bastion becomes 3rd rank, you can't advance any of these facilities to 3rd rank. The bastion has to be 3rd rank for a facility to be 3rd rank. And once you do, it'll be a D8 plus 3 instead of a D6. But like if you leave, like you can see the smithy, the smithy has a D4 die. Because again, 1st rank is D4, 2nd rank is D6, yada, 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 5th rank is D12. Instead of a proficiency bonus, it's a proficiency die, which is the proficiency bonus is the middle of that die result. 1st level plus 2, D4. 2nd level, D6, plus 3, D6. Up to 17, plus 6, D12. Very simple. And that's how you determine success and failures in attempting tasks. When you roll below 10, a mishap happens, a complication occurs, and again, you can't complete that task until the team goes on a side quest to do whatever, and we don't know what the problem is until we randomly generate it. So, and being that I don't know what the team is going to ask to do, I don't know what orders the team is going to issue to the facilities until it happens. They make the die roll immediately to see if it succeeds or fails, and if it comes up with a complication, I know that in like the next session or two, I'll have a side quest to resolve that complication, which will then tie into a larger narrative of stuff that's happening in the campaign around us. So it might seem like a complication just basically cues up a very natural step that the players are going to take anyway. It just happens that you now have this thing tied to completing that task, so now it becomes a priority to do it. Like you wanted to hunt down who this person was because you have questions for them. It just so happens, it turns out that the reason why you can't complete this task is because that person was meddling with something and blah, blah, like stole something or whatever. Now you have to find that guy to recover that thing to complete the task. But once you do, you can ask them the questions that you were looking for in the first place. Now it becomes multifaceted. Or it gives me an opportunity to introduce a new phase of something that you might not realize is going to be significant, because I'm just framing it as here's a little side quest thing that you need to do, but it introduces new ideas that could become problems that the team wants to work with, or opportunities for the team to exploit something if they want. So it's a great way for me to drop in new adventure seeds that the team is already motivated to pursue, because they can't get the thing that they want until they complete it. So I don't have to give anybody treasure in this campaign. I just give you bastion points for you to buy things that you want. And when you roll poorly, go earn them. So it actually it's a really good feeling style of campaign that really reinforces a lot of the basic BECMI principles of world building and having an impact on your reality around you. The characters' choices having actual consequences to how a campaign runs, and builds a narrative as a progressive generation, not a story that's been prefabricated that I'm going to subconsciously try to keep you on the rails so that the stuff that I spent time writing is useful and not a waste, and I can share it with you. If I allow the campaign to be progressively generated through these success-fail tasks that the team is setting up, it makes the campaign organic and unique, because it's built around the motivations of the players executing tasks through their characters. So hopefully that stuff makes sense to you guys, because it's a really fun style of campaign, and hopefully as we continue through the game, it'll continue to prove itself. But so far, it looks like the team's excited about spending bastion points and acquiring resources and all yada yada blah blah blah. So that's enough preamble. We have the sizes of these facilities is determined by the minimum size of a facility is determined by its rank. 5 ranks. Cramped are 10 by 10 spaces, or basically 4 squares. Roomy is 16 squares. Ample, 3rd rank, 36 squares. Spacious, 64 squares, and then vast is a minimum of 100 squares. So you can see here it's 2 by 2, 4 by 4, 6 by 6, 8 by 8, 10 by 10, blah. So we have our facility sizes, the number of hirelings required to make each bastion work, and the bastion die that they add to your die roll as a result of the rank of that specific facility. So that's the basic groundwork. We're just going to go through these in order. We're 2nd rank in the armory. That requires 3 NPCs. The size is 4 50-foot squares, which is a 100 by 100 foot space, which is vast, but we only needed roomy. We made the armory vast so that we could wheel mecha in there and equip them with new weapons. Or like for example, is it I think, yeah, Magic Man, you've got the are you the one with the harpoon flinger? You've got the siege scaled sniper cannon on your mecha. That throws like it's Fuck, I'm losing. It was. I've got a cheat guide here. Hold on, real quick. I'm juggling who's what. Here we go. That's right, Forge. You're the one that has the pike missile launchers. So like those are 40 feet in length. So for us to make 40-foot pikes, basically, for you to launch at things, we need to have a huge armory. So that's why it's 100 by 100. So it's big enough to be able to forge weapons that big. So that's the scale that we have. It technically only has 3 NPCs working the thing, but we have a ton. There's actually a lot of people. There's a total of, I don't have the population here. Second rank, population is technically 65. It's more than 65. It's 65 plus the facilities. There's 5 towers. Each tower requires 13 people. 13 times 5 is 65. Plus we have 22 people in the facilities overall, independent from the siege towers. So that would be a total of 87. So we have a population is 87 plus characters. So while your characters are aboard, I mean, your characters are mecha pilots. So their job is to not be on board the ship when they're on duty. So that's why they're the ones that go down and do like investigation stuff, as well as load up in the mecha and go fight kaiju, because you're the deputies in charge. Everyone else is basically infantry, so, or hirelings of some sort. So the total population is 87. So we'll have to have enough. Living space in the barracks to accommodate all 87. And at this rank, each of them gets their own 10 by 10 space. So that's roughly a what is that? 87 times 870 by 870 space. That's a lot of space that we're requiring. How do I break that down? Hold on real quick. That's a really great question. I'm going to answer that right now. I was having a problem with this last week, I think. I'm gonna house up to 100 people times 10 by 10. So we're gonna do 10 by 10 equals 100 square feet times 100 people. That's 10,000 square feet that we need available. A 50-foot square times a 50-foot square equals 2,500. So if we divide 10,000 by 2,500, we need 4 squares at the 50-foot scale. So somewhere inside of this space, we need to take 4 of these squares and dedicate them to barracks. So for these turrets up here, we'll probably have like 1 square up here to be between these 2 turret stations and to man rigging down here. And then we'll probably have 3 squares up here for the helm, the facilities up here, as well as for the workshop, the smithy, the armory, the mecha hangar, and any other incidentals. So I think that's how we're going to end up dividing it. 1 barrack square down here and 3 barrack squares up here. That should be sufficient to spread the people around enough so they can get where they need to be quickly. Cool, I like that. This is well spent time. So that's our population. We have that figured out. Our armory only needs 3 people, but again, we have 87 that we can tap into if we need. So at any given time, like 7 of those trebuchet engineers that aren't firing siege weapons right now can go help, sharpen some arrows. Get to work, son. Anyway, so let's find out what we can do with the armory. So we'll go back to our Bastion campaign documents. Armory is first rank. A 5th rank bastion, or even like a 3rd rank bastion, whatever, like a teleportation circle, for instance. You can't get a teleportation circle until you're 3rd rank, but to get a teleportation circle only requires 1 bastion point. But you have to have 3rd rank people operating the teleportation circle. As opposed to an armory, which is 1st rank, you only need 1st rank hirelings to operate a first rank armory. We have a second rank armory though, so that means we need second rank NPCs to provide that. You can only get second rank unless the DM has a special condition. You have to go to a village, town, or city in Metropolis to get second rank. You can get first rank anything in a hamlet because it's just, back scratch alley, cheers. But like a teleportation circle, that starts with a third rank hireling. And third rank hirelings can only be found at minimum in towns that have at least 10,000 people in them. That's the large enough population that you will find somebody who knows how to work teleportation magic. So they would be sufficient. But with the armory, for example, once we get the armory to third rank, the only place we'll be able to find NPCs skilled enough to accomplish the feats that a third rank bastion allows you to accomplish, you're going to have to go recruit them from a third rank community, which is a town. Currently, there's only one town in our community that we're at, so it could be difficult for us to lure a person in. Normally, you'd be able to go from city to city and just basically do recruitment runs, scouting for people. We failed here. Okay, well, let's just not, instead of resolving complications, let's just go to another location and see if we can hire somebody there instead. Maybe we'll just have a better die roll. We'll be fine. Like, those are choices that you can make. But in this limited campaign, we have to advance the communities to third rank so that they can produce hirelings that are third rank, so that they can populate and operate the facilities that will eventually be built out by the characters by 9th level. So there's a lot on the plate that could potentially limit and stymie the character's growth potential, depending on how they're able to interact with the community and pull out talent through recruiting. So to create a new facility, you just spend the bastion points. That automatically reserves the space for that facility in your bastion, assuming that the space is available, like physically able to put it in there. But the action, the task, the challenge then for the ability check is recruiting. You can invest in a laboratory, but if you don't have any chemists, you ain't labbing anything unless you research how to lab stuff, and then you could do that as a character. But now that becomes your downtime activity, and you're not adventuring. You're working a lab. So that's why you want the hirelings, but you have to recruit the hirelings, which like at third rank, that's a DC 20 die roll, and you're going to probably be rolling a D20 plus 3 plus D8. So you have a potential of anywhere from a 10 to a 29. That's your range, and you need a 20. So you're basically only 33% chance likely to find that recruit without complication. If you roll below a 10 on these die rolls, they always create complications. But if I need to roll a 20 to recruit that third rank chemist, and I roll a 15, I failed the die roll. I've created a complication that's preventing that chemist from wanting to work at my laboratory. And the DM will spell out what the complication is and create an adventure out of it. For you, it could be really easy. It could just be a social encounter or an exploration encounter. Maybe it's a combat encounter, or it could take all day, depending on what you guys bump into and start exploring and playing with that opportunity to make something out of it. But we don't know until you attempt the die roll and fail it. That triggers me as a DM to create an adventure for you. So typically I do follow-ups the next week. Like, I won't have a chemistry gone wrong adventure for you right now, so there will be a complication. I will let you know what it is next week. So let's spend the rest of this week locking down as many variables as we can, so we'll have a plate open for us to resolve that complication next week. So we as a table get to schedule around how we're resolving tasks on our plate that get created during the course of the Bastion turn. Anyway, so enough rambling? No, but I can at least pause in my rambling for the moment and go down to the armory. So, armory, prerequisite. The only prerequisite is a first rank bastion. Here we go. So, again, all facilities have 3 benefits, basically. There's a basic facility benefit, which is if I issue a defend order to protect the bastion from attack. I was talking earlier about kaiju attacks and then stocking up facilities in these towns to protect themselves. If we install an armory in every community, when we make that bastion check to see if we're able to fend off the kaiju or not, this basic facility, the basic defender role would be like for like Scabrous Cove is first rank, so it'd be D20 plus 1 plus D4. That's the die roll that I'm going to make. And against, like, say, a first rank kaiju threat, the DC is only 10. I'm basically have a range of anywhere from 6 to 25. I've got roughly a 60% chance of succeeding at fending off that, like, deterring that kaiju from attacking. But with this armory facility, when issuing that defend order to protect the bastion from attack, I can roll an additional bastion die equal to the rank of this facility. So if I have in Scabrous Cove, first rank community can have at most first rank, which means D4s. The community itself gets to roll that D4 plus 1 plus D20 to see if I got the result that I needed. But if I have the armory installed, I now roll 2 4-sided dice plus 1 plus D20, and I'll keep the best of the D4 results. Again, working within the bounded accuracy curve of your max DC is 30, it's not fair to have like 5 dice adding results to hit that DC 30. That's why D&D feels so easy to people at high levels, is because there's so many bonuses being tossed onto your character and extra dice like from Bardic Inspiration, Flash of Genius, Bless, Guidance, and other random class features like add your fighter level to this die roll. God damn. Like, there are some ridiculous dice I could add to this stuff. There's no need to stack dice. So most of the mechanics that I do have, like, if you're going to roll multiple dice on a D20 test, if you roll multiple dice to add to those benefits, you're going to end up keeping only the best result, including Bardic Inspiration dice. Like, if you have Bless for a D4, Bardic Inspiration die for a D8, say a superiority die applies for some reason for another D8, and then your actual ability check on this would normally be like, say, plus 7. That would be a potential 8, 8, 6, 4. No, it was 8, 8, and 4. That's a potential plus 20 right there. On top of the 7, like, you can do a 47 with those dice stacked up. But if we only allow the top result of the D4, D8, D8, you might only get a plus 3. So, like, you roll a 15 on the D20, you get your plus 7 from your bonuses, and now you got a plus 3. So now you got a, what did I say? That was a 25. Congratulations, you rolled a 25. Not bad. So, like, that's much better than, like, 48. That's ridiculous. Anyway, so just having an armory, whenever you're defending your community, you always get an extra die roll equal to the rank of that armory, which cannot exceed the rank of the community itself. But you can also issue orders to armories. The crafting order. You can issue the craft order to create non-magical items. See the item, again, the item list at the end of this document has everything up to the value listed for the rank of this facility. And being that it's a Mecha Kaiju campaign, you can argue that you can make mecha gear and fighter craft stuff in an armory, in a workshop, in a smithy, and in a shipwright. So I'm allowing that flexibility because the default language for the campaign is mecha combat. So I want to make as many things that could, like, make armor and weapons also be capable of making siege, mecha, and fighter craft stuff too. So generally, let's go look at the Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. We have a second rank armory, which can do things up to 400 gold in value. So let's go down to building mecha, or building ships in general, and look at material costs. So mecha in this campaign can be up to 50 feet in size. So if we're going to make a mecha, that's a craft over here. So light material is 100 gold pieces per 5 feet of space that a mecha occupies. At second rank, our mecha occupy 20-foot spaces. So light material, it would be a 20-foot space of mecha made out of light material, and light material is defined as... Where'd my list of stuff come from? Ship material. Here we go. Light material includes bone, ceramics, and wood. Heavy materials include crystal, metal, and stone. Composite materials include a blend of both heavy and light material, such as metal and wood, like reinforced bands of wood on a frame, for instance, or ceramic and crystal. The ship statistics are modified from material it is constructed from. So the different materials set our armor class, our strength, constitution, and dexterity of the craft, the damage reduction of the craft, and again the armor class bonus that we can apply to the ship through our piloting. And each has a different gold value. So composite material is better than light armor in some ways, better than heavy armor in other ways, but its cost is the middle of the road. 100 gold pieces, 150 gold pieces, or 200 gold pieces per 5 feet. So the team members that have 20-foot mecha made out of heavy material like metal and stone, and some of us do, that would be 800 gold to make that mecha. And a second rank facility can produce 400 gold worth of value in a week. So for the armory and the workshop and the smithy to produce one mecha 20 feet in size made out of metal, it would require one bastion turn. It requires 2 bastion turns at second rank. You could have the armory and the workshop working together as separate orders to each produce 400 gold pieces worth of mecha. That could be 2 separate light mecha, or it could be 1 heavy mecha. But you can combine their actions together, but it eats up orders for you to do so. The characters already have mecha. And when they get to 9th level, we're going to allow them to automatically upgrade their mecha for free as part of their bastion turn. Just because. So, but that's generally like the scale of cost. So when it says like crafting stuff, now you have an idea of like what this stuff means to craft. And then we have the Empower Order. To issue the Empower Order to create magic items, such as things that are classified as armaments, including armors, shields, weapons. Like armaments is like bracers of defense is armaments. A brooch of protection is armament, stuff like that. Like a helm of telepathy is considered armament, as well as a wondrous magic item. So like it has these interesting categories in 5.5. But that also armaments also includes mecha weapons. So you can make mecha weapons. And you can empower them to become magical mecha weapons if you wanted to. Want a flame brand mecha sword that's 30 feet in size? Cool. Give me time to make it, and we'll make it. And again, these both require issuing orders, which require ability checks, which could mishap, and require you to go do something special to have that armor finished, or to have that magic weapon become a flame sword, whatever, blah. So that's what the armory can do. So let's go back to the armory, and I'm going to actually go down here and reference the armory down here. Here we go. Orders. You can only issue one order to each to an armory per turn. So one bastion boy can craft up to 400 gold pieces. Can empower one armament up to uncommon rarity, and the die roll is d20 plus d6 plus 2, and DCs equal 10 or 15. But you can't do rare items not until 9th level, 3rd rank. And then down here, we can also spend a bastion point to research one armament magic plans. To uncommon rarity. D20 plus D6. Rarity, again, is 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So common is 10, uncommon is 15. And we're rocking the D20 plus D6 plus 2. 2 because we're second rank, D6 because the armory is second rank, and D20 because it's 5e. So that's what the armory can do. That's basically all the armory can do, but that's actually quite a bit. So next is the barracks. It's second rank. Basic. So again, every facility can do 3 things. Either, and it's a mix of facility benefits, orders that can be issued, and downtime activities your character can spend at the facility. If your characters want every order that can be issued to a facility, a player can do as a downtime activity. If you also choose to burn an order on top of doing it as downtime activity, you add the Bastion dice to your character's crafting or whatever check, almost like an extended Bardic Inspiration die. So it's worth it. If you're going to spend your downtime doing something and you have the orders available and the facility isn't otherwise already being predisposed, then you can expend that order to have them kick your basically Bardic Inspiration, your whatever check it is that you're making as downtime. But you get to use your ability check bonuses like normal, plus the added Bastion die on top of it, or multiple Bastion dice rounding up, taking the best result. Anyway, so there's 2 basic facility benefits that the barracks provides. When you issue the defend order to protect the Bastion from attacks, you can roll an additional Bastion die. So a barracks and an armory both lend dice to the defense roll that you have at your facility. This is a citadel. It has second rank, so it's automatically rolling a D6 plus D20 plus 2 whenever it's fending off attacks against it from a Bastion perspective that the characters aren't specifically engaged in battle in. If the characters aren't there, the Bastion resolves it with a defense roll. So at this point, they'd be rolling 3d6, keeping the best result, plus 2, plus the result of the d20. And you can issue the attack order to have your citadel go attack a community or a bastion. You could also mobilize your militia to then go roam to a location and basically destroy that location. That is a bastion attack, and it works the same way. Each location has an armor class or defense class equal to their given rank. First rank is 10, 15, 20, 25. A fifth rank bastion always has a DC 30. It always has better defenses unto itself, just intrinsically, than a first rank facility, like a first rank bastion would. But then on top of it, it has like the barracks and the armory and other things. It'll start stacking up those D12. So if they take the defense action, if you somehow surpass their DC 30 at 5th rank, they might issue an order to defend themselves from that attack. And at which point they would roll the D20 plus 5 plus, like, say 4D12. And if they do better than like your DC 32, then they've effectively parried your attack. You got past their passive defenses, but now that they're actively there, they're attempting to defeat your die roll, almost like in 5.5e when you're trying to detect somebody. The base, like if you want to hide, the base DC is 15. If you roll less than 15, you fail no matter what. But if you pass the DC 15, the result of your check becomes the DC for somebody to observe you. And this works exactly the same way as that. So I really like that system in D&D now. Like, you have this minimum number that you have to hit, and as long as you do, that becomes the base DC needed to defeat your effort, which is exactly what the Bastion combat mechanics do. And again, if they successfully attack you and they're second rank, they're going to deal D6 Bastion points of damage to you. They may decide to target, if they're attacking, the defender gets to choose what loses Bastion points. Like, if all my Bastion points are spent on facilities and I lose 6 points, I'm only second rank, I'm going to lose 3 Bastion facilities and I won't be able to use them anymore. So if the barracks gets destroyed, I don't get that extra die anymore. It's not as easy for myself to defend against you anymore. If it's just a general attack, the defender chooses what gets destroyed first. If I do a sabotage action, instead of attacking, I instead sabotage, I'm going to target a specific facility to attack. And that's typically going to, unless I have like really high rank saboteurs that I've hired, it's going to do D4 points of damage to that facility, which is enough to wipe out a first rank facility. Yeah, I'm going to burn that pub down. Just toss some Molotov cocktails and laugh as I drive away. I just defeated your pub. Well done. But like a Simic genetic lab that's 5th rank in like downtown Ravnica precinct 10th district. That's going to have insane security around it. So like you're going to be hard pressed. You're going to have to find somebody that's going to be capable of getting past the defenses to even like to take out the like if you don't like the genetic experimenting that they're doing on monkeys right now, you're going to have to basically get past their defenses and sabotage that gene lab that's working on monkeys specifically to stop them from continuing the research on monkeys. So like sabotage has a very specific purpose as opposed to just general attacks where you're just throwing mobs of people at a wall. So you have those, and we may experience those, or the team may decide to tap into those ideas if we start interacting with different communities or conflicting communities that have opposing goals. Like you can sabotage the government facilities of a community to effectively behead the government from communicating with their people. Like that's a disruption campaign as a sabotage action that the characters may decide that they want to take during the campaign for some reason. But you see how easy it is to do that. This whole system is really elegant. I'm pretty excited about it, to be perfectly honest. I'm really looking forward to getting this to a place where I actually put it into a book and illustrate it. This is going to be one of my best works fucking ever, man. I love this. Okay, so back on track. Barracks, recruiting. You can issue the recruit order to attract mercenaries to defend your bastion or to form an army to attack a rival bastion or settlement as detailed in the issuing orders section below. Special barracks requires 10 by 10 space per rank for each soldier housing in a barracks. Facility, housing, area each. So, 100 people. I had 10,000. That's too much. Special barracks required 10 by 10 space per soldier. Let's just do it per soldier. Housing in a barracks. I'm going to erase these real quick. We added the size mechanic last week, but after smelling it, I don't like it anymore, so we're getting rid of it. So we can have up to 10 at first rank, up to 100 soldiers at second rank. So we're looking at, again, we have a population of 87 in our citadel. That's appropriate for a second rank bastion. See how well this all curves out together? I love it. So let's see. We have basic facility benefit. Hold on. Let's put in perk benefit. Roll extra D6 when defending against bastion attacks. Benefit. There. Benefit, roll extra D6 when attacking another bastion. Recruit. Order. One per bastion turn. One BP. Recruit militia of 100 soldiers to 100 first rank soldiers to attack a bastion. 1 BP. Recruit militia of 10 second rank soldiers to attack a bastion. You do one of those. See how it's scaling down? If I was a 5th rank facility, I could hire 10 5th rank or 100,000 first rank or any scale in between. 5th rank do a lot more. They can take a lot more punishment, and you can issue them more orders. Once you have a militia mobile, it basically becomes its own bastion that then has, like, for example, a 100 soldiers of first rank would have 20 bastion points total, and a 10th rank, 10 second rank soldiers would have 20 bastion points. So it's 10 points for a first rank soldiers. It's 10 bastion points, 1 for each first 10, and then from there it's 1 bastion point for every 10 soldiers. So the first 10 points is 10 first rank soldiers. An 11th point is now 20 soldiers. A third point is 30 soldiers, etc., until you get to 10 for the first 10. And then from 10, and then 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That's so yeah, it'd be 19 points. Sorry, it'd be 19 points for 100 first ranked soldiers, and it would be 20 points for 10 second ranked soldiers, because second rank each second ranked soldier is 2 points each for the first 10, and then it's 20 points for every 10 thereafter. So they have more bastion points built into them as hit points. So it takes more to kill. It takes twice as much to kill a second ranked soldier than it does to kill a first ranked soldier. But the numbers don't immediately just double, triple, quadruple, whatever to make it ridiculous. They actually have that stepping scale, like third rank. It's 10 points for the first 10. Third rank would be 30 points for the first 10. Another 30 points for the next to get up to 100, and then another 30 points to get to 1,000 troops, because each troop then is 1 for every 100 troops. So you have this scaling up. It'd be 90 points for an army of 1,000 third-ranked soldiers, as opposed to only 30 bastion points for an army of 1,000 first-ranked soldiers. And when each army, like the first rank, would be able to be issued 1 order that will deal D4 damage to the third rank army, and the third rank army can be issued 3 orders to deal D8 damage to the first rank army. So you can see that the third rank army is going to slaughter the first rank army before the first rank army probably even gets through 200 soldiers. Like, that third rank will kill every one of those 1,000 soldiers before they probably lose 100 or 200 troops. Like, that's just how it scales. So, because of the math. If I'm only rolling D4 per turn, and each soldier in each unit of soldiers in that squad has 3 bastion points each. If I roll a 1 or a 2 on my attack as a first rank army, I'm done. I didn't do shit. The amount of people doesn't increase the damage that they deal. It increases the time that they're capable of dealing it. So larger numbers means more longevity. They can refresh troops. They can rotate people out. But you can only have so many people attacking this section of a wall at a time. I could have 1 million people, but if I can only hit 5 axes against that tree at a time, that tree's not going to fall any faster than 10 people can hit it. That's just the physics of body mass. So this mechanic actually works pretty well, and it does a really good job of like simplifying combat into the background. You can take any scale of a battle, convert it into bastion points, and then have them conduct battle like this in the background at whatever scale of time that you want. It just works. So anyway, so that's how the barracks works. It's working along with the armory together, so you guys have crazy defenses if your characters don't happen to be there to defend it. Let's look at the helm. I think we installed a helm in here. Let's see if I put G. I gotta look up. I could swear a helm is in here somewhere. Nope, didn't do it. Okay. Helm, second rank, 3 NPCs. Let's see. Benefits. Ship can move and operate without character action. Ship can move and operate for operate for 8 hours per NPC hireling. So at second rank, we have a crew of 3. That means that the ship can operate 24/7. We have 3 shifts, 1 shift on piloting, 1 shift off downtime, 1 shift sleeping. So we have 3 pilots that are in rotation, so that we always have somebody fresh. And like downtime activity can include like spending 2 hours after your shift staying on the helm, staying with the helmsman just to be able to play things through. So you always have like 2 people hanging out on deck. And of course the characters could walk in at any time, and being that they're in charge, they can then basically sit down at the helm and take command of piloting the ship at any time that they want. But it can operate independently and just basically follow orders of the characters on command. Benefit, ship can move and operate for 8 hours per NPC hireling. And then we have pilot check. Pilot and siege attack checks are D20 plus 2 plus 1d6 plus any bastion. Plus any facility benefits. Or rather, plus D6 armory, plus 1d6 barracks. Yeah. And then order. Let's see. Benefits. Every facility has 3 benefits. So one benefit: ship can move and operate for 8 hours. Another benefit is add 1 bastion die to the lifestyle roll. So because the ship is capable of moving materials and carrying passengers and stuff, it's easier for you to make money to maintain a lifestyle. And again, we have to maintain a lifestyle equal to the rank of the crew that's aboard the ship for them to operate at their peak efficiency. They'll only operate at a rank equal to the lifestyle being maintained. You could have 5th rank hirelings, but if they're living in a poor lifestyle, they won't perform above 1st rank capability because they aren't being properly tended to, I guess is the way to put it. It's a mechanic. It's just a mechanical. It's a rule mechanic that places heavy emphasis on maintaining that lifestyle. Lifestyle determines the level of material, the rank of material that you get access to, and the level of performance that the hirelings in your facilities are operating at. So, and 1st rank is the minimum. So even if it's squalid or wretched life conditions right now, they can still at least do their basic functions, even if it's unsafely. So the second benefit is to get the added Bastion die for lifestyle checks, which makes a lot of sense. And then order. No benefit is can move and operate for 8 hours per hireling NPC. I still feel like there should be an order here. Order. What's a good order for the helm? We already have. Just the benefit is that the ship moves. It just does that. Extra benefit of improving lifestyle check. That totally makes sense. I feel like trade. Let's just make it a bunch of benefits. We don't have to give it a downtime activity. We don't have to give it an order that it can fulfill. It can just simply be benefits, just adding die rolls. So going back up here to the trade order. Oh, we're in settlements now. Sorry, let's keep tooling up. Trade, here we go. Guildhouse, storehouse, and ship. While some bastions are designed specifically to harvest materials or create items with the facilities and hirelings chosen for those bastions, the trade order can obtain materials already harvested or items already created from facilities and other bastions and settlements. When issuing the trade order, the bastion doesn't need to offer specific items or payments to obtain the items traded unless a complication requires it. Otherwise, the costs related to trading are automatically incorporated into maintaining a lifestyle for the bastion. A bastion can trade within the settlement it occupies, or it can establish trade routes with other settlements. And then here's rules about trading with other settlements, about rarity, gold value, duration of trade duration, the number of points to sustain. This is the further away you are, to set up a trade route between one location and another requires you to permanently dedicate bastion points to that order, basically like to tap mana to power the trade route. That's what the bastion points represent there. But we don't need to really worry about that right now. This is a lot of rules about like establishing distances and stuff, or like how many cargo, like refueling points do you need along the way. All that stuff is folded into the campaign currently, so you don't have to worry about any of that. But we can issue benefit add 1 bastion die to the trade checks made equal to the rank of this facility. Made equal to the rank of this facility. There, that's what the helm can do. It's more background maintenance stuff than active actions, but again, it's a helm of a ship. Your character can step in and pilot at any time that you want, but this also allows us to issue orders to the ship to basically carry out, to execute commands for us, whether we're on the ship or not. The problem when we leave, like when the ship is at a different location, like a different community than the characters, if something goes wrong, not shit the characters can do about it. So generally I recommend leave the carrier at the same community that the characters are currently. The carrier and the characters remain in the same community at all times until the characters have more than one major spell jamming helm, so they can have multiple ships moving at that 10,000 miles per day or that 500 miles per hour speed to be able to get around the communities well, or even leave them. Mecha Hanger. Benefit. Well, hold on. Order. Craft mecha and fighter craft. Up to 400 GP value per week, per turn, per bastion turn. Order. No, order. Empower. Mecha. Empower. Mecha and fighter craft magic armaments up to uncommon rarity. 1 per, up to 1 per bastion turn. And order. Repairs. Let's go with craft. Craft order. Repair damage to mecha and fighter craft. Repairing is cheap. Oh boy. Let's go down to repairs. Hold on. Let's hit the table of contents and go to making repairs. We're second rank. We can repair D6 plus 2. The table repair, the extent of repairs that can be performed per day based on the size of the community when a dockyard is located. Rank, repair, number of hit points that are repaired per day. For example, in a village, you can hire 8 crew to repair 1d4 plus 1 hit points per day, but there's not enough workers in the village to do more than this. Meanwhile, in a metropolis, you can hire up to a total of 5 crews at a time up to 5th rank per day. So the mecha can repair 2d6 plus 4 HP per day. Bastion turn equals 7, 14 d6 plus 14. Yeah. Like that. Granted, the characters have spell casting that'll make repairs very easy, especially because you have a shipwright wizard on your team. Fuck off. It's going to be really cheap. But if he doesn't want to burn a whole bunch of either time on amplifying the mending cantrip as a free ritual that takes an hour to perform, you can repair D4 hit points. Or you can repair 2d8 per spell level spent, amplifying or upcasting mending. But for no resources at all, other than just occupying mecha time. Actually, order craft for repair. Jeez, I want to. I'm gonna make a benefit out of that. Maintenance. Maintenance, repair, damage, and mecha and fire. So basically, if you just keep your mecha in the hangar bay, they will automatically repair 2d6 plus 4 hit points per day on any mecha that's in the hangar. And the longer you leave it unused, the more hit points it just automatically repairs for you. So the characters don't necessarily have to spend their own resources on time, or mana to repair the ships themselves. They can just put them back in the hangar, and they'll just passively get repaired. I like that better. Now we're at the Smithy. Smithy's only first rank. I'll get through these facilities and then we'll be done. We only have a couple left. When we come back on Monday next week, obviously all of our bastions and stuff are set up. I'll start building out the next community. There's 5 communities to visit after Scavengers Cove, and I don't necessarily know exactly which one. I have a good idea of which one they're going to. I think they're going to Fell Tower next because it's the other first rank facility, the other first rank community. The rest of them are second or third rank. So I want to knock out the smaller, simple ones first, so that it's easier for the characters to wrap their head around these mechanics and ideas. But then we'll open it up to the second rank, and then we'll finally operate at third rank a couple of weeks down the road. More like 8 weeks down the road. A couple of months down the road. How about that? Anyway, so for now, we're looking at the... Why was I chasing this? Smithy. There it is. Facility benefits. When using a harvest order to acquire mineral materials, you can roll an additional bastion die equal to the rank of this facility. So, Smithy, benefits, harvesting, minerals, rolls 1d6, rolls an extra bastion die equal to the rank of this facility. It's only first rank, so the die roll is actually D4, not D6. Get off autopilot, Kearney. Numbers matter. So if for example, we were to take our carrier ship and help out Redstone harvest some iron for a little while, we would be able to lend an extra D4 to their effort because we have a smithy that we would then be lending our facilities to help them smelt their materials. So that's the benefit that we gain, and then we of course have orders, order, craft, order, empower, and these are the same as the armory. Craft order to make non-magical items up to 100 gold pieces of value. Craft non-magical items up to 100 GP value per week, per bastion turn, and you can break that down per day if you need to. But empower, you can issue the empower order to create a magical item, which could be armor, ring, rod, weapon, or wondrous items. I should really list out the things that can be made. So let's go back to the armory. Here. There. Armory, barracks, helm, mecha hangar. Smithy's good. Storehouse and workshop, and then we're done. So, storehouse. Like picking up depending on how the team decides to go, picking up a war room would be really useful. Again, it just provides a bunch of extra dice to the attack actions. And then we can also recruit mercenaries to defend and to attack rivals. Super useful. Good for attacking stuff, obviously. Training area is super cool. You guys can get into that later. Storehouse, facility benefits. Craft order. To create non-magical items, you can roll an additional die to make it easier. And when you issue the harvest order to acquire any type of materials, you can roll an additional die. And you can issue the trade order to have any type of material, non-magical item, or plans for item creation delivered to the Bastion instead of researching it yourself. Benefits. Add 1 Bastion die equal to the rank of this facility to craft orders. Benefit. When issuing craft orders, add 1 Bastion die equal to the rank of this facility. Benefits when issuing harvest, the harvest order, the craft order, add 1 die, 1 additional die equal to the rank of this facility. And then order. Trade. To acquire any non-magical items or materials. Any non-magical items, materials, or plans for creating items up to the rank of this facility. There. That was easy enough. And again, second rank means we can acquire materials that are effective in creating like if you want to make an uncommon magic item, you have to have uncommon material to make it from. So you have to have access to second rank materials, which you can harvest yourself in a second rank community, no pun intended. Or you can issue a trade order to find second rank material to deliver to you for you to build with. And then we have the workshop. Bop, bop, bop. Craft, empower, and recruit. Craft. Order. Craft. Order. Empower. Order. Recruit. You can issue the craft order to create new non-magical items of value equal to the listed craft non-magical items up to 100 GP in value each. Sorry, up to 400 gold pieces, up to 400 GP in value per Bastion turn. Empower. To create magical items up to uncommon rarity. DC 10, 15. D20. Let's do it this way. D20 plus 2 plus 1d6. DC 10, 15. Per Bastion. Turn. We do it this way. Orders. Issue 1. 1 per Bastion turn. 1 BP. One BP. 1 BP. This one's fun. 1. Recruit. So recruitment, you can issue a recruit order to this facility to coax a spirit into the body of a golem constructed in this facility to serve as a hireling and defend the bastion. The CR of golem created this way is determined by the rank of the facility as listed below. So we could create animated ballistas, helmed horrors, flesh golems, animated armor, homunculus, iron defenders. We don't have. We do have Granite Juggernaut, Animated Stone, Shield Guardian. There we go. Warforged Titan comes in at 3rd rank, so we can make Warforged prior to that. I think we can make Docents at first rank, and basic body frames, and then we can start building larger constructs at 2nd rank. So let's go with that. Let's go with. Recruit to create construct allies that can defend or become sidekicks to characters. We'll do it like this. DC 10, DC 15. Armor, Docents, Homunculus, Iron Defender, Warforged, small or medium frame. DC 15 is going to be animated ballistas operate just like normal ballistas do. And depending on the rank of creation, we'll set the rank of the crew that the animated ballista loads, aims, and fires itself. Large frame. Ooh, let's do this. Iron Defender. Mecha 10-foot frame. And then as we advance to higher ranks, we'll be able to build bigger things. So far, so good, man. I'm happy. Okay, so now we have the means of basically creating docent sidekicks, which can act as co-pilots in people's mecha to give you extra bonus actions and reactions during combat. It's worth the time to recruit on those. Building docents is useful. But again, it consumes bastion points just like everything else does. But that's probably the big. I'm glad we did that last. I love that. I love that you can start building friends, basically. And then we have our turret station, and then we go into our communities. So I think that's good enough for now. Again, when we come back next time, we'll flesh out these communities even more. And I'm sorry, there's a question. What are you up to again? Hopefully you figured it out by now. We've figured out Scabbard's Cove. I'm going to drop Scabbard Cove down here into a separate page. And then we'll start like Fell Tower. This will be what we work on next week. I think it's Fell Tower. Yeah, Fell Tower. This is where we'll start next time. With Fell Tower itself and the Abbey of the Sovereign Host. Those are the two major facilities there. I think there's some other stuff, but that's what we'll focus on. So hey, this has been Spelljammer Combat and Exploration. Building the carrier ship as a bastion fortress for the characters. It's 8:30. Yeah, that was a good run, a good 2-hour run. I'm going to go ahead and step out for the rest of the night and get some off-screen work done. Like probably working on that illustration that we'll be painting tomorrow morning. I do artwork Monday through Friday in the mornings, including tomorrow. I do game design on Monday nights, often on Thursday nights like this, doing campaign stuff or building new books. Saturday morning, we pretty much we do streaming online early morning. And then after that, we go and play D&D on my Discord server for a while, this campaign that we're running. Currently, our Saturday morning project is we are going through blue mana cards in D&D, in Magic the Gathering, and converting them into class and subclass features that we can build blue-themed subclasses off of Magic the Gathering cards into subclass kits. So if that stuff is interesting to you, stick around. Check out my artwork tomorrow morning if you want, or on thousands of streams that I have here online already. Maybe it's thousands. It still might be hundreds, but I think it's thousands at this point. Pretty sure it's thousands at this point. But yeah, we're up there. Yeah, like, subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Our next benchmark is one more subscriber equals our 666th member. I'll take a screenshot and celebrate it on Patreon and Discord with anybody that tags along. So thanks a lot for hanging out with me, guys. And anyone that's interested in this stuff, be welcome to join my Discord server and just ask questions in the appropriate channel or just in general conversations. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Bye.